Hey, what's up, y'all? Jay Helms, founder of the W2 Capitalist. I want to come to you real quick. I hope it's going to be quick. We're in the middle of this mastermind expansion. I'm getting a lot of questions, so I want to go back, and something I should have done a long time ago is answer the 5 W's and the 1 H, right? The who, what, when, where, why, and how. I'm going to be as quick as I can. Can't promise you it's going to be under 5 minutes, but I'm going to do my best, right? So who is this for? Who is the W2 Capitalist Mastermind for? Is essentially for anyone who is willing to be around like-minded individuals who want to see them succeed and hold them accountable for doing what you say you're going to be doing, right? And if you're wondering about demographics specifically, this usually comes down to 25 to 50 years of age, male or female. You have a successful job, you have a couple of kids, or you're planning to have 1 or 2 in the near future. And when you sit down with your spouse and you talk things out, you realize that you both want to be further along financially, so that you can grow a bigger nest egg. You have the option to leave your W-2 or 1099. We have a lot of 1099 folks in the group as well. Or you plan for some generational wealth building, right? From a real estate investing experience, we have newbies up into the well experienced. And I'll get into those details right now, right? So what I'm going to tell you is the average, and then I'll break down the least and the maximum for 3 different things. Number 1, the average number of years anybody in the current mastermind has been investing has been 4 years. But that breaks down from 0 months investing to 204 months, which comes out to be a really long time. If you're focused on buy and hold, right, the average number of doors in a person's portfolio in the mastermind currently is 186. Now that ranges from 0, they haven't done their first deal yet, to 2,000 doors. Pretty incredible, pretty wide mix. And then the number of completed real estate transactions on average has been 8, with the least being 0. And the highest being 18. So as you can see, the mix is all over the place, right, when it comes to that. So that's the who, what. So the what does it entail? So we have multiple calls happening. These are virtual calls over Zoom that happen throughout the month. One of the perks of joining the mastermind is you have access to attend every call that happens at no additional cost, right? If you're in the general session, which is a hodgepodge of investing experience as well as niches, and you want to join the multifamily call, do it. You have access to that. If you're in the flipping and wholesaling and BRRRR call, right, if that's your primary call, and you want to see what's happening in the buy and hold space, join it, right? But upon joining us in the mastermind, your first challenge is to find a home. We call it your primary call, your home base, whatnot. But you're going to designate one of these calls, and these calls happen kind of sporadically throughout the month. Some of them happen weekly, some of them happen bi-weekly, monthly. More info on the calls and call frequencies can be found at w2capitalist.com/events. But you'll designate one of those calls as your primary, right? So that's going to be your first challenge when you come in. When you have your primary call set up, you will this is where you're going to actively participate the most, right? You're going to tell your group your big wins. You're going to talk about your current focus, and you're going to answer to your accountability teams, right? These calls last somewhere between 1 to 4 hours, depending on size and time of day, right? And regardless of your primary designation, just want to reiterate this, you have access to join every call that happens, right? The other thing, 2 other things, you get access to the book club, real big in continuing education here in the mastermind. And the second thing is the private Facebook group, right? The private Facebook group and the book club is just for the mastermind members. And of course, there is networking that happens outside of the mastermind. You're going to get a roll call sheet from everybody who's there, so you can contact them one-on-one. And this eventually leads to deals that happen. There's been a lot of transactions. I don't even know the amount of transactions that happen because I'm not involved in it, but it does happen. I can tell you for sure. That's the who and the what. The when does happen over Zoom, right? And again, w2capitalist.com/events is you can find out all the wins, the WHENS wins. Anyway, where, as mentioned earlier, it is a virtual mastermind. Right now, we're using Facebook, the Facebook groups, and Zoom to accommodate this virtual experience. There are going to be some in-person events coming at us in the near future, but right now we're utilizing Zoom and just Facebook, right? Who, what, when, where, why? Why is the first step to join the mastermind to take a quiz? Well, quite frankly, not everyone who applies gets in, right? Or receives an invite to join us. The quiz that we've put together takes about 5 minutes to complete and really just tells us where your mindset is and how and what you are wanting to accomplish by being in the mastermind and just real estate investing in general, right? Who, what, when, where, why. That's it. So the how is a big thing, right? How are you going to be held accountable? This really is just a community of accountability on steroids, right? There are designated moderators that are going to handle every call. However, I don't like the word moderator. I think they deserve a much better title for that. So you're going to hear me and see me refer to them as the mastermind VPs. The rules are simple. When you come into your primary call, you're going to be asked 3 questions, right? What was your big win? WIN, big win. What is your accountability piece, right? How did you do on the previous task that you committed to? And what are your future tasks? Usually out of this conversation usually comes challenges from other members to really push you on the envelope of things you may be getting stuck on. And then you have an opportunity for questions for the group, right? Now you can also post your questions in the Facebook group, but sometimes the virtual face-to-face, you get a little bit better answer. But when it comes to questions, whether they're in the Facebook group or on your call, there is one rule, and it's the most important rule of the mastermind. Number one rule, when someone is asking for feedback or has questions in the mastermind, you can only answer based on your experience. I will call you out if you don't do this. If you say, hey, I read this somewhere else, or I heard this somewhere else. I'm not interested in what you read or heard. I'm interested in what you've done, right? Newbies, expiring investors, you may be sitting there questioning yourself, okay, how do I bring value? How am I going to help other members if I don't have any experience? This is going to sound weird, but you actually bring 2 different things. Number one, you bring energy. Energy from new investors is so contagious. It really lights us experienced guys. It gives us a what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, you bring energy, right? The second thing is questions. One of the best ways for me to learn, and a lot of folks to learn, and I think this is why the real estate investing community overall is so helping and willing to help other people, is because they realize that you asking questions, me reliving this experience I have, helps me. It's fully reciprocal, right? It comes back around and it helps me understand probably what I went through a little bit better, and also just makes me an overall better investor by explaining it to you and continue to communicate those things. So as odd as that sounds, you bring in your energy and your questions are the main things that you can bring, right? So that is the who's it for, what does it entail, when, where, why. The first step is to take a quiz, and how. That's it, guys. If you have any other questions, email me, jay@w2capitalist.com. That's jay@w2capitalist.com, and I'll get to them just as soon as I can. But the first step in being considered for the mastermind is to take the quiz, right? So you can find that at w2capitalist.com/quiz. I'm looking forward to seeing your results, but if you have questions, email me.